Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, and I have 2 lovely co-hosts tonight. Up top, we have Brazil. Say hello, Brazil.
Hi.
And we have joining us tonight down below, we have Jonathan.
Hello. And the Band-Aid.
And the Band-Aid. Does the Band-Aid have a name?
Nelly.
Not yet, but you can vote for whoever you would like to name the Band-Aid, and it's coming off tomorrow, but
Just, for aesthetics.
Why not?
Beauty spot. His new beauty spot. Well, if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well then welcome. Make sure you subscribe, kind of right down over there below. We're on our mission to 1,000 subscribers. So please help us with being that next person that joins us in our chat. So I did say that I wasn't going to talk about Big Brother maybe until the finale, but Laundry Day from our Love Island chat was urging us to come on and do a little bit of a live after this triple eviction. So today we are talking about Big Brother All-Stars season 22, episode 25, the triple eviction. Jonathan, you did mention one little line about this episode. So what did you think about it quickly on a whole?
What did I say to you? I said it's the most predictable triple eviction ever. I mean, I know there's never been one before, but I mean, if you had to think of how it was going to go, it went.
Absolutely. In Brazil, I know you were watching this as you were driving, but how did you find this episode on the whole?
I had it playing, so I was listening to the audio, and thankfully I know all their voices. So, and on top of that, it's also super predictable. But I don't know. To me, it didn't really seem like a triple eviction because that eviction was already planned, and then they added a double on top of it. So I didn't consider it to be actually a triple eviction. It was like a double eviction done on an already scheduled eviction night, but whatever.
3 people going home. We got it. We knew that Kevin was going to go out the door no matter what. And it actually went the way that I assumed it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, even the people winning I just figured it all. And actually, the one thing that would surprise me was that Memphis put up Nicole. So do you guys have any ideas as to why he put up Nicole and David?
He was already feeling sketchy about Nicole. He had mentioned that to Cody, I believe. Cody. And then I think Cody had told her. And literally the one brief moment I have watched the feeds when they're not already cut to the stars. Nicole was in Memphis's room asking him, are we good? Are we okay? Who are we going to go after kind of thing? And she was trying to mend that because she had already heard from Cody that she was kind of at the top of his list.
Absolutely. I was actually I didn't see that conversation really. And I was just kind of thinking why her though? I thought that there was other people that he might have been able to put up. But I guess he wouldn't have put up Christmas, I guess. He wouldn't have gone for Danny right then because she was
next on his list.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, she was next on everybody's list. I think that was pretty much the order of people going out this triple eviction was kind of everybody's hit list, obviously except for David and Danny's.
Yeah. Right, yeah, because Memphis was David, Nicole, Danny, and then it just so happened that was the order, but...
And I think Memphis was more afraid of, everyone was targeting the 2, Danny and, Nicole. And I think Memphis was more afraid of, rocking the boat as far as Danny's concerned, because she's a little bit more probably dangerous in comps than Nicole, who's easier just to kind of put up. So I do feel like Nicole was his pawn and he kind of knew it, but he also knew that he was going to pick from one of the 2, I think. So it was just predictable.
So at the start of the episode, go back in time a little bit. One thing I thought was funny was how they had the clip of Cody, the genius that he is, saying that Texan is an animal. Now, do we know what type of animal a Texan would be, Jonathan?
It's a non-existent animal.
I know why he thinks that.
Okay, why?
Do you?
Why?
It's a football team. The Texans have like a longhorn on their helmet, so I guarantee you, he thinks that that's an animal because they're called the Texans.
I can't. No, you're lying to me.
I'm not lying. I'm dead serious. The Texans logo is like a longhorn with like the coloring of like the Texas flag, I believe. Yeah. So I guarantee you that's exactly why he said that, because it wasn't like he didn't know Floridian, he didn't know Carolinian, Californian, like that's a thing. And so he said it's an animal. That's my first thought.
I'm a Torontonian.
He didn't know any of it.
I actually thought that was like amusing though, and like I can't really hate because I'm not the best geographer.
I don't think that has to really do with geography. I think it just has to do with maybe just living in the world a little bit. I don't know. Can you?
This is their logo.
I can't. Oh, there. So that's a Texan?
Yeah. So I guarantee you that's why you thought it was an animal.
Wow. Okay.
And it's funny because I don't think Cody's like not smart. It's just he, every time he does a competition, I think he's very strategic. I think he knows when, one of the video competitions that we can talk about afterwards, he knew when to kick it into high gear and he started running. And, in the putting one, he's always very strategic, I find. I see him like the wheels and the cogs going, but I just think it's like certain knowledge, like certain book knowledge that he's just.
So maybe he's street smart, but not academically smart.
I think it's like an instinct. I don't think he's smart. It's just like he has good instincts when it comes to assessing situations, but I just don't think he has. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what his education's like, but he just didn't absorb it.
For me, like one of the most attractive things about friends and maybe partners in a relationship is somebody that's really smart. And I think that that's also one thing that makes me not think of him as being very attractive anymore, because I'm like, wow, we couldn't really have a really deep conversation in any regard if you don't know what a Texan is. Like it doesn't look good on his credit score, as David probably would say to him.
Not at all.
What do you guys think about the conversation, though, that Cody had with David, where he was basically said, you nervous? After David took the $10,000 during the veto competitions. And then he's like, you should be. I thought it was pretty rude personally how he was addressing David here. Do you guys have any thoughts as to why he was acting like this? And,
I think he feels like in a position of power, especially over David. And so I felt like it was a little bit of like taking that for granted, maybe a little bullying, but he was just kind of like, I don't need to put up a front with you, so I'm just going to tell you, like, why did you do that? That was dumb. Whereas I think with anyone else, he would have, save face kind of thing, but I just don't think he has. I think it's a lack of respect, and I don't think he fully had that with David. So
I feel like they all think they can talk to him like that because he obviously has never really watched and or knows how to play. And so I feel that they think they can just kind of like do whatever they want and say whatever they want to him. But if I was in David's position, do you want to know what I would have been?
What?
I would have been waving that $10,000 and been like, someone trade me. Someone give me your answer and I'll trade you right now. And then I would have ran up the ramp.
Ooh, interesting.
I would have made the deal because you still might not win the veto because it wasn't like the last round, but it would have been like, if I give you this, like I don't win, you have to vote to keep me.
But I also think he just like kind of gave up and decided that he wanted the $10,000 during that.
But that's what Cody mentioned. He's like, no one's ever done that before. Like, hey, hi.
Gather your friends so we can have some more people chatting with us about this triple eviction. Yeah, I know, right? There are 3 people leaving the house that we kind of had an idea we're going to be going out. If I were in David's position, like I see that he wants to win the money at least like so that he did something with it. And he's been talking about how he's going to be supporting different charities or whatnot. There's Laundry Day. We did this for you, Laundry. We're here for you.
True story.
True story. And so I think that, he has plans for what he wants to do with the money. And so he saw that as like a guarantee that he's going to be able to take some additional money home. And so what I would have probably done if I was in this position, I think other people have probably mentioned this, is like I would maybe hid the $10,000, t-shirt and then come up with the other one if he had it and try to at least maybe stay in a couple of rounds until maybe, because like if Cody had gone out that round, who knows who would have won, and he might have had a better shot at like getting Kevin off the block, or wait, but it was Kevin and Cody the last two, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so if that was the case, Kevin would have probably won, and who would have gone up? It would have been probably
Kevin and Cody weren't.
I think possibly Memphis would have.
No, it would have been Christmas that would have gone up.
Oh, Christmas, yeah.
They're going to see whether or not Christmas was going to, how she was going to act on the block, and then they would decide between David and Christmas, you know? But that was the backup.
I still think they're stupid for not keeping David.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, for sure. I'm surprised people didn't hoard in that competition. You know, they normally hoard their answers.
Exactly.
Well, you know, I think this competition, like this version of OTEV, was I would have found this to be like way harder than the other ones, because it's not like it's like a substance like goo or mud where you can or dirt. They were all moving objects constantly, and they were all the same color as the moving objects. And so I think I would have had like a seizure trying to look through stuff. So I thought, and for whatever reason, like it seemed as though that slope was, I don't know if Nicole just made it look a lot harder than it was, or
it looked steeper. It looked steeper for sure.
Yeah.
So Laundry says, I'm so sorry I asked to cover this. I'm so mad. It's okay. It's okay. We're here for you. We're not that we're mad. I'm actually kind of happy with the outcome, because I felt a little bit of just desserts kind of happened. Because, you know, Danny has been so smug this whole game. I really didn't like how she kind of, you know, went against Janelle right in the beginning to side with these people. That look how quickly they turned on her when they got the chance, including, as we find out at the end of this episode, her best friend of the BB best friend, Cody, was able to turn on her and vote her out of the game. And so the fact that I know that you know, Janelle would never have gone against her, or never would have voted against her, I really don't think she would have. That I think that she made a bad decision from the very beginning. What were we going to say?
When Julie asked her what her what she thought her biggest mistake was, or her biggest regret, and she said not getting Tyler out earlier, I really thought for a brief second she would have said targeting Janelle so early. Like fourth reason.
That's what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Boy, oh boy. So Dr. Will comes on the screen. We kind of probably knew about this if we heard any. Oh, you don't listen to spoilers or read spoilers, Jonathan. So, you know, we already knew that there was rumblings that Dr. Will came on the screen and alluded to the triple eviction, which I was annoyed about that, because I would have rather them really been caught off guard with a triple, as opposed to like, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of that, do you think that was a mistake? Because I do, where it showed Julie and the background hadn't changed, and it was like, I was like, someone's getting fired.
Well, that's twice that they effed up.
Oh my gosh. What was the other time?
Huh? Just with Dr. Will alluding to it being a triple.
No, I think that was scripted. They're trying to be coy, I think they're being like one step ahead. Was it going to be not one, not two, but three
steps ahead, yeah.
Moves ahead, he said.
Because then they started cutting to all of the people speculating what that means and saying it. But yeah, no, that shot should have been like that normal background that they have, and it wasn't. And it was just said, and they read it as it was scrolling across. I was like, ooh, that's definitely a mistake.
Right before the commercial break, too, they were like, wait, what? Huh? What?
Yeah, it was definitely a mistake, because then you could tell it was a mistake, because when Julie didn't say anything after that, and then I think she got in her earpiece, someone saying to her, like, oh, they saw the triple eviction sign, so they know about it. So,
he tried to play it off, but we all knew.
It was pretty obvious. So Laundry said that David disappointed me. His interview was basically, Mom, I made it beyond the first day. Yeah.
I still think, though, that with him knowing nothing, I think, and him making so many errors, I think, I don't know. I don't hate David. I think he played a decent game, and I think he played a better game than a lot of the other people in there.
I don't think he played a game. I think he allowed himself to be like taken along further.
Yeah.
I don't think he made any moves to advance himself in the game. I don't think that him staying had anything to do with but other people feeling that he was better to be there for their game. So
David survived. That's what he did.
I guess David survived better than other people played.
Right. And I think that actually that's what I feel, other than Danny was the first person that's gone out now that I feel was making moves in the game. I think up until this point, everybody that left wasn't able to do anything. They were just surviving the block, or, you know what I mean? Like, it was predictable. You knew like those people were going up. You knew who was going home. You knew who was going up the next week. The whole time it was like that.
But you also know with like Memphis, Cody, Tyler in the game, like those people are gonna win HOH like week after week after week. So
JoJo, shut your mouth. What are you talking about? Well, JoJo was voting for Danny, and JoJo, obviously one of all of our best friends.
No, this is our JoJo?
This is our JoJo.
No, it's not.
I'm rooting for Nicole. I'm disgusted with myself.
No, it's not.
What?
Yeah, it is. It's his.
I don't want to believe it.
You know it's him.
You've disowned him already?
I don't want to believe it. I don't disown him, but he's got to be drinking. So
you know what? It's not JoJo. It's Casey from Scream.
Yeah,
Casey Becker.
And you know what happens to Casey in the first 15 minutes, JoJo? It's over.
Where is he? What?
He said he hadn't watched the episode yet, but do you want to pop on anyways, JoJo? I can send you the El Linkio.
He hasn't watched and he's rooting for Nicole. Yeah.
You know what though? Looking at those people, I'm like, definitely don't want Christmas. Definitely don't want Memphis. I'm like, I don't like Tyler and I've never have. I don't like Cody and I never have. I'm like, who am I rooting for? Enzo? I guess.
I'm definitely not. Nicole cannot be a two-time winner. She cannot be a two-time winner. I will die before that happens.
Yeah, I don't want Nicole to win for that reason too. She's not worth it. I can't. You know what? Last time.
Same effing game all the time.
I almost got banned from here from saying it, but you know what I said that I didn't. Well, I'm not gonna say it again. But I don't hate her as much as some other people. I didn't say anything. I didn't say I liked her, but I can't. For that very reason alone, I can't root for Nicole to be the second time winner. It's just that she doesn't have a game that justifies like a first time win, let alone like a 2-time win. It's not okay.
It's not okay. Yeah. Okay, I had my hand up because I was saying that I am rooting right now for an Enzo Tyler final 2.
Me too.
Honestly, no, Enzo's probably paying the best game.
Enzo, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for either one, but those are the two that I hope make it to final 2, and then whoever wins, whatever.
Ooh. So Laundry says, I think getting rid of David was a $500,000 mistake. Nicole was the biggest threat. She plays fragile and whines and hides behind comp winners. She is directly responsible for Day, Ian, Danny, and David. That's true, but I think that now, though, Laundry, she doesn't have those votes necessarily in the jury, so she might be taken to the end because she hasn't won anything to pump up her resume, and she has bad blood. I don't think that Davon is going to want to vote for her in the end.
She's not doing that twice. She's not doing that twice.
Exactly. I think Ian probably will still vote for Nicole. Danny, maybe, but David, I don't think that she will, because they're going to know that it was that lie that got basically Davon and David to be going against each other. And they'll confront Danny now and say, hey, Danny, what happened there? Why did, was it you? Was it Nicole? Why didn't Nicole?
And Davon's issue with that whole thing was that she told Nicole, I don't want to be arguing with a black man on television and hating on a black man on television if he's telling the truth. And she gave her that opportunity to tell her, and she still didn't. So that she's not going to forgive.
And the thing with Nicole, I just have to say real quick, is that if you noticed, because I watched it back a few times, that when she realized she was losing that veto comp before her fall, that was on purpose. And she looked around and noticed that she wasn't going to win it, and so she wanted to see the weaker person. That's a theory of mine. I saw it happen. Watched it back a few times.
The
one where she fell.
The lava one.
The one where Tyler won it with the puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah. She knew she wasn't going to win, so she was like, "Let me be the weaker person here."
That's hot take.
That's what I think.
Oh, but she keeps playing into that whole "I've never won anything, I haven't won anything. This is my time to shine. This is my time to do it."
Oh my god, I fell! Wow, just okay. So Daquan asks, "What type of mindset do you have to be in when you are in the Big Brother house? What do you think?"
There's no right answer to that.
I think for my type of gameplay is I tend to want to play loyal, and as honest as possible. I definitely don't like lying, like whining and lying too much. I think that if, like, say I was like in Nicole's position and Davon came up to me and asked me, like, on a human level, like outside of this game, did you do this because I don't want to be, you know, being angry at this man for no reason, I would not be able to lie in that moment. So I think that I would be someone that would be loyal, that would want to be friends with everybody, like, so have a good social game, I think is how I would be playing.
And I think that would be a $500,000 mistake if Nicole gets the final two, because I think Davon potentially still could have voted for her had she not made that lie. But now there's no chance.
What do you think about the mindset, Jonathan?
Well, I think you need to be respected. And so you can not make moves people want. You can vote people out, but it's a skill set in doing all of that, and yet people still respecting your game. So, you know, don't play emotionally. That can get you caught up in situations and saying things that are just not to your benefit at all. And yeah, just try to play respectfully. And whether it's like you have to lie sometimes, you have to make moves and do things that you don't want to do. But if people can understand it at the end of the day, then they're going to respect that, I think. And then you'll have the votes at the end to win. If you're, I mean, it requires some luck too, right? Like who's winning HOH? If it's not you, sometimes you need it to be someone else who you're aligned with. So there is a lot of luck to it as well, but you need to have the great social game, like Chantele said. And I think that involves just being really respected by most of the house in order to get those votes.
And I also think that to add to all of this, like creating like the perfect Big Brother player, is being willing to look a few steps in advance and map up all the different potential outcomes. Like it seems as though everybody up until this point, kind of like what I said before, has just been reacting to what's been going on in the house instead of like positioning themselves to be moving forward regardless of who is winning HOH. Like if they're on the outside of like the major alliance, find a way for it not to be you, at least. You know what I mean? And like try to make a new inner core alliance that is, you know, I don't know, work from within. I don't know, do something, but like be positioning yourself to do better, not just be hoping to win a power so that you can maybe shake up the game, because nobody on that one power.
That's why I always had a plan A, plan B, plan C for whoever won HOH. Like I always had a plan. Like, okay, if they win, I'll do this and I'll say this. If this person wins, you know what I mean? Like, so you have to be able to adapt. I think adaptability is like.
And I think Danny did. She had those, like, she's like, oh, I have these good people I'm good with. This person, she's just like, I know I'm screwed if it comes to Tyler and Christmas, and that you can't win them all. So she kind of knew that she had to beat out those people. And that's why she was planting seeds to get them out, because she knew that she needed that. And there's no winning them over. So you need to get rid of them.
But she talked too much.
She did talk too much. And I mean, that's the reason behind kind of why that was going to happen. But I think it was very smart when she was saying that she knew Christmas was going to work with guys, and it was true. So
Joe, be quiet here. Jojo says it would be a perfect ending for this season. Jojo,
what is wrong? Are you okay?
I don't know what's going on.
Can someone go check on him?
I know. I'm gonna go in your house.
We need a welfare check on Jojo, please.
Yeah, please.
Laundry says they are still playing within the alliances. Enzo, Mr. Big Moves kept Nicole. Memphis is a huge D, yes. And he could have kept his mouth shut when David left.
I know.
True. All true.
Memphis, aside from that, too, did you guys see what he said about like his politics thing?
No.
About how he was talking, I think on, I don't know, maybe live feeds, but he was saying, he's like, yeah, President Trump's going to make November 11th a national holiday, or like his national holiday. That way people can have the day off of work and go vote. And then he like basically at the end of all of that said, people are going to be really surprised for what I say when I leave here and who I'm endorsing.
Oh, okay.
So he said that that's going to be part of his exit, is him endorsing one of the two candidates, and he said people are going to riot. And I'm like, okay, Memphis, no one really gives a fuck about you.
Gross. Hi, Sam. Nice to meet you. So Sam says, I am rooting for Christmas and Cody to win Big Brother this season because they are smart.
Holly.
Cody's brother, Holly from MTV's The Challenge. Sam, this is your first time here, so you must not know that these are the wrong answers.
Polly.
To each their own. To each their own.
I know. Obviously, everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, but I'm definitely not a Polly and Cara Maria stan.
I want to know why. What's the allure to Polly? That's what I want to know, Sam. Why Polly?
I don't know.
I don't even enjoy him on the challenge where he's able to, like, you know, call out a shot and be like braggadocious and obnoxious. Like, you're kind of encouraged to be like that, and I don't enjoy it. I think it's because he's just, oh my god, it's really.
I used to like Cara Maria and years ago, and then because I always thought she was like strong, kick ass, you know, wants to win, got far, like things like that. Not following anyone's path necessarily, but then it kind of went away, and then she's teamed up with. I mean, they're dating Polly, and it was just
Polly's out and everything at her ranch. I forget where she lives right now, and he has
Polly. I don't like cheaters. Okay, sorry.
Wyoming, I think. Wyoming.
Exactly. I don't like cheaters either, and that's their relationship started on cheating, and now
it's a character trait, and I mean, people will say people make mistakes, sure, but I mean, never in my life would I ever put myself in a situation that would allow me to do that. So for me, it's no excuse.
What about
I don't like it?
Casa more?
No, I mean that's different. If you both meet and you're like, they're all single, but if you both meet and you're kind of dating someone for a couple of weeks, you're not in a relationship, right? So
wait, so are you happy about J-Lib or are you happy about J-Lib? There's only one right answer.
Oh, of course I am.
Blondie says Krampus is next. She's sitting smug right now, but she is next. Watch. I think she's going to win the next kind of household. I actually put all my low stocks from Reality Stock Watch. I had some low stocks, so that I've been trying to shuffle around just to hope the people that I bought these low stocks would eventually, you know, mature and I could buy like the good stocks. So right now I have like 15 or more Christmas stocks. Because like I had who did I have? I had Kevin. I was like, maybe Kevin's gonna win and he can move forward and I can sell him high. And that didn't happen. So David's gone, Kevin's gone, and the other low stocks to buy were either Danny or Christmas. And so I bought Christmas thinking that Danny was going to leave. And so right now I just want Christmas to stay maybe one more cycle so I can have those stocks mature and then I can go all in with the other two house guests I have stocks in is Memphis and Cody. Memphis and Enzo. So I want them all in on those two right now.
Did you notice how Christmas was like in her feelings when after Danny left? By the way, which was the best part of that episode when she was walking out the door and she's like, "It's not a." I was like, "Yes, Danny."
Well,
yes.
basically, yeah. So Christmas's whole thing always is that like, don't play emotionally, and she's like, that's exactly what she said. Like, oh, I didn't. You're gonna really take this. No, let's say it again. I guess this is really personal, huh? And Danny said, yeah. It is.
Like out the door, you only hear her, you don't even see her. She was like out the door already. Yeah, I loved it. And then a couple minutes later, she's sitting on the couch. She's like, "What am I doing? Because she clearly was affected by that, and I kind of loved it. I was like, that was what Danny wanted, and Danny got it. That's.
What about Christmas's temper tantrum after the veto, or when she didn't get picked for veto?
Right. She likes playing for the team. She likes being the comp beast. That's the only thing that she understands is winning competitions and being part of a team. And so she doesn't really have any strategy. I mean, the first time we saw her have any inkling of strategy was when she was trying to tell David about like, "Oh, I'll tell you the vote," like about the Devon vote that Nicole did. Like she kind of was going to use that to her benefit. That's the only time I saw any like semblance of strategy from Christmas. But other than that, she's just a no strat. Like she just wins comps and is part of a big group.
She kind of wins comps.
That's it though. Jaquan says, what do y'all think would fit best on the challenge? Because I've been seeing a lot of a crossover lately. Right now from Big Brother. Who wouldn't I mind seeing? Jaser?
Oh, he would do terribly.
I said Jaser as in Janelle and Kaser, but I mean, Janelle would never do it, I don't think, but Janelle
Tyler would do really well, I think.
I could get behind Tyler on the challenge.
I don't think Danny would do half bad.
Javon's been on it already, and I wouldn't be
Bailey
back.
Yeah, Bailey did great.
Christmas would do it.
I just don't want to see her though.
Yeah, but do you like seeing people to root against though sometimes?
Not Christmas. I would rather root against anyone other than her. I need her off my screen and away from me forever.
I'm definitely not a fan. Tyler for the challenge. Yes, Laundry, we are agreeing with you. I actually don't mind. Like, he hasn't been doing the best in this game so far of the season. Like, I know he has a lot of really big fans, but I haven't been enjoying his gameplay. But I can see now that he is actually a pretty decent Big Brother player. I didn't care for him his season, but I knew that he had a lot of fans this season. They thought he was robbed or whatnot. But his gameplay bothered me a little bit that season. This season, he hasn't been playing that well, but I've liked him a little bit more. So right now I'm rooting for him. And he's also Aquarius, so I'll give him that as well. And so I don't mind seeing him on the challenge.
I don't like the little emotional thing that he tried to do when he was like putting them Danny and not using the veto and all that stuff. I'm like, it was fake, and I was just I didn't appreciate that.
That was not game. That was like cruel. No, I'm talking about Devon and Bailey.
No, he's talking about right now this episode when he was putting up Danny and Nicole.
Yeah, he was like trying to act all somber and just kind of like, you know.
I was like, get out of here. Like, they knew who you're putting up.
He nominated.
Yeah, just own it. Just own it. Just own it.
Game over.
Daquan says, I don't watch Big Brother, but Tyler, his frame reminds me of Jay. Yeah, I can see that. He seems like he's taller than Jay, though. Jay from Survivor.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I can see like kind of like lanky, long hair, like good at all those weird challenges type guy. Jojo says, okay, good. This season is trash. It's true. I'm not really loving it. I had so much high hopes for the season. Nicole or
Chris Mess
would be the absolute. Oh, sorry, Chris Mess winning would be the absolute worst. I'm fine with that officially.
Okay,
so I think Jojo's better now. We can call for the welfare check.
No, he's fine with them winning because it would be the worst.
Blue. Them winning would be the worst.
Yeah, and he's fine with it. He's saying he wants them to win.
Oh, why?
He's like,
oh, God.
officially.
He's fine with that, he says.
Okay.
No.
This season is trash. Nicole or Christmas winning would be absolute worst. I'm fine with that, officially.
Just give it to, you have to do it like Drag Race, officially. But you give it to Enzo. Give it to Enzo. Let Enzo win, please. He'll be on next.
Sam says because he's cool and a funny guy.
Polly.
Polly?
I don't see it.
I don't find him funny at all.
Is it the cool part when he dates Cara Marie? He like transforms into her with all the piercings and the funky look. Is that the cool part? Is that he doesn't have his own personality?
He becomes a pirate.
Is he cool when he starts fights with Josh and yelling at him? Is he cool? I don't know. I just don't find him cool or hot or smart. I mean, he's actually decent. He has more strategy, I think, than Cody does, actually. But Jaquan says, "What's wrong with Pauly? I've only seen him on X on the Beach and the challenge." Pauly was on X on the Beach.
Of course he was.
With who? Jaquan, who was he on X on the Beach with? With Danielle? No, I don't think he was on X on the Beach.
Let's talk about when he's on the challenge when he passed out. Remember that?
He was
like, I can do anything, and then he's like, go without me.
No, I'm not a fan. Jaquan says, Brazil, are you happy for J-Lub or are you
I think meant to say, are you happy for J-Lub?
Again?
Yeah.
Much respect to you ride or a stand, die stand. You are a die stand, Brazil. Die stand for J-Lub. Yes.
Me too.
So yeah, first eviction happens. We weren't surprised. I thought both Kevin and David had pretty good speeches. I wish that people, I don't know.
Hi, little baby cutie.
No, he's being bad again. He didn't. He watched Big Brother with me though.
He did.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Who do you want to win? Nicole, get out of here.
So when Kevin leaves, though, I love the fact that he wasn't going to be fake and he did not hug anybody. I was like, yes, I would not be hugging one fucking person. You just ended my game. You didn't give me a chance, and now you want me to be like a good game. Like, no, thanks. Like, I'll see you on finale night.
Yeah.
We'll see what I do with my vote.
Did he seem a little bitter when he brought up how Devon's speech was 4 minutes long?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
He was like
mentioned briefly.
When?
Yeah, he mentioned it briefly, but I heard a little bitterness. He's like, "Well, I have to give a speech."
That was a weird moment to air. I didn't understand because it wasn't even like I feel like the camera wasn't even on him. It was just a weird thing to say.
When did it air? Though I didn't hear it.
It was right before they gave their actual speeches. Like before, I don't know. I couldn't I wasn't physically looking at my phone. I just heard it. He was like said something about
4-minute speech like dated or something. Yeah.
Well, I think they'll also that maybe they got prompted to not be long because it's going to be a live show and that there's going to be a triple eviction. And so with Devon's speech, they did allow her to go as long as she needed because they had the time there, I think. And so maybe the comment was just being like, oh, they told him to keep it short because whatever. And then he's like, well, she had a long speech, but he didn't know at that time it was going to be a triple eviction, you know?
Yeah, no, it was just a weird comment that had no context like prior to that. So it was like, why are they showing that?
I had no idea that Kevin was half black, half Japanese, right?
I assumed he was half black, but I didn't know what his other half was.
So how did you feel about that? About him saying like when Devon was like, there's only 3 people that look like me in here, or 2 people.
I felt bad about that. And then like David even makes, references to being like kind of being the black representation and stuff like that. But I feel bad for him because he doesn't, it's often like when people don't know what you are, then they don't have certain associations, and it's like what you present yourself being. And yeah, I mean, I never thought of it. I was like, I don't know what he what his background is, but it must be tough for him. So I'm glad they aired that this week. Really, kind of, going through that and talking about his life as that.
Devon, like, it would have been like, I'm half black. Like, you also have me.
Well, and that's another thing. Like when I was watching that whole, every time that was being brought up, or Devon would say that, or somebody would say that, or even like other podcasts would be like the only 3 black people in the house or whatever. I'm like, what? There's 4. What? There's 4. And I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like thinking like, oh, maybe he's Hispanic or he's of a different background than I was assuming. But I was always assuming that he was half black. And I thought that because everybody else was not including him in the like black POC kind of grouping, that he must have been other. And so if I was him and I was in the house, I'd be like, just so you know, like my father is black.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I would have said something.
So instead of like surprised though that like I just assumed because he didn't say anything that he was of a different ethnic background. And so I think that it's a little bit on his part too to educate. We're talking about people being, say, misgendered. People, I know that you don't need to correct somebody, and you shouldn't have to correct somebody. I get that. I understand that stance for sure. But also, though, for education purposes, so that they won't be offending you or, hurting your feelings or making you feel like you're not included, just to make them a little more aware at times might be helpful, in the long run,
Well, it's having pride. Yeah, sorry, I was just saying it's showing that you have pride to be that and to like you said, Brazil, to show that you're not the only one, to have that representation. And I think it's super important. And I agree with you, Chantele, that I feel like that should have been talked about a lot, and maybe he has, and it's fallen on deaf ears. I don't know, because they don't show everything, obviously, and who knows. But
not on the feeds.
But it's not on the feeds at all.
Not so,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did last season. I don't know. Maybe he did, but he should have.
You were gonna say something, Brazil?
No, he reiterated it for me.
So Laundry agrees with us. Kevin said, I will hug you on finale night. And then he said to Julie, ugh, that is so fake. And that's the thing. Is I wouldn't want to be fake leaving the house. And that's kind of what Christmas seems like. She wants people to be fake leaving the house, hugging everybody. Danny doesn't want to hug you. You were cackling basically when you're voting to evict Danny in the diary room. And then you want to give her a hug. F off, Christmas.
Well, Nicole lit that flame.
Say again?
Nicole lit that flame by telling
I
Christmas
mean,
Danny
fine.
wanted her.
But like Christmas, you were coming after Danny, so why do you want a hug from her?
Yeah.
I also think that like Christmas thinks she's playing this wonderful game that people should, respect at the end of the day. And I'm like, you're a little delusional, Christmas. It's not the
A
game
little?
that you think it is. So I think she's like, everyone should respect that. I got you out, and look what I'm playing, and I'm like so great. And you definitely can see that, and I think that's why what Danny said really affected her, because she was like, "Whoa, this isn't personal. Like, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, but you are making it." So,
With like the fact though that Kevin did have a conversation about wanting to be a strong representation in the LGBTQ community. And so I think that, if he had maybe opened up that conversation about his background within the house, it would have been something that would have been helpful for other people in mixed backgrounds to be like, hey, I still want to feel included, just so you know, like I understand some of the strife that you're going through, and I want to be there for you on that same level. So know that like I'm part of you. Like I want to support this fight with you.
yeah.
I wish he'd said that. Deja's here. Hi, Deja. How are you? You guys have been impressed with you guys. Impressed. Not just you, Brazil, but also Jaquan and Laundry and Deja. This season has really been a drag, and I hated seeing people being sitting ducks and picked off. Yes, absolutely, Deja. I actually stopped watching the live feeds really, unless I have to do a recap with Rob as a podcast. Laundry asked me to do this one during our chat this afternoon, and so it was a triple eviction, so I thought that there'd be at least some interesting things going on. Turns out there wasn't. But I'm happy here chatting with you guys. And like, I do like talking about these things. I just was feeling like, because the season has just been targeting all the minorities, and like, it just hasn't been fun to watch gameplay, that I kind of was taking a step back from covering it all the time. But maybe I'll do like once a week until it's over, a Thursday night episode, do one of these, maybe. I don't know. Laundry says, Tyler and Danny, you said stuff about me, and Nicole, you didn't tell me. These people are petty. So I thought that was it's pretty bang on,
He was just coming up with stuff. Like, I mean, he wanted them gone. He knew that he was least connected with them. They are a threat to his game. So,
wait, so you're saying that Tyler was petty for calling them out for that?
I think that's what Laundry's saying.
I mean, he had to come up with some excuse to nominate them without blowing his game up. So
yeah.
Well, and he couldn't really put up anybody else, and so these were like two.
Oh, he could have. He could have. He just wouldn't.
Why would he put anybody else up?
I'm saying he can.
But like for his game, like why would you think that he could put anybody else up? Like, I mean, he's capable of putting up Cody and Memphis
or Memphis and Christmas. Like,
he's not going to put up Christmas. He's not going to put up Memphis.
Oh, I forget he's friends with Christmas. Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. The only two people that he's heard rumblings of coming for him for sure have been Danny, and Nicole is Danny's sidekick, and they've been doing everything together. So, to ensure that there's not a vote for Danny to stay, you kind of have to put Nicole up beside her.
Yeah.
Just for the vote. Deja says, hopefully now the game will get more interesting now that the alliance will turn on each other. Yeah, and that's kind of like what I've been waiting for. I'm just like, okay, get rid of all the people that are not in this core alliance. They're not winning anything. Like, I'm sick of having my heart like hurting for these people that are fighting to stay there, but they just are not good enough at the game to go against this huge power. And there's so many like the racial stuff was just really hurtful, and I just didn't like the beginning of the season so far. So I'm hoping now that I can just focus on gameplay, and that's all it's going to be.
We'll see.
I hope so. Deja also says, I'm glad that Davey went for the 10 grand and Cody sounded jealous that he got it. That's true. What do you think about that, Jonathan? Do you think Cody was jealous?
Well, yeah, because he probably felt that, like, he couldn't go for it because, like, it's just that he's like, it was kind of like a how dare you kind of a movement. But at the same time, I mean, listen, if you really don't think you're going to win at the end, go for a money prize like that. Like, take home $10,000. I mean, why not?
He's gonna be on the block every time after that, so why not make $10,000 in the meantime?
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like, there was no. They keep on making it seem as though like he was going to be in a better position in the house if he didn't take the money. You know what I mean? I think it's like they just don't want him to have won money that they didn't win.
Yeah, he still would have gone home against Nicole.
Absolutely.
Like, no matter what. So.
Absolutely. It's kind of like when they were making Devon feel as though it was a bad move that she took Kevin off the block. You guys were sitting ducks, as Deja was saying, like you were going to be going home in whatever particular order, depending on, but like you guys were the next three out, no matter what. So Devon, it was the right move, I think, to use the power of veto that round. What do you think about that, Jonathan? You think you should have, Devon?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, stand for kind of what you believe in, and she wasn't in a position where she was like completely washing away her game by doing it, because I still, like you said, I think it was going to go down the path it was going down anyway, so might as well kind of stick to your principles. And
I don't know why I wrote this down. Maybe you guys can help me out, but I said, I guess it was after Kevin left and is talking to Julie, I said, I said, "Oh, shut up, Cody." Did he say something or do something?
Not that I can.
Cody, what did Cody say who left? When Kevin left?
Kevin left. Oh, maybe about him being, no, I can't remember.
I mean,
I don't know. I would go down. Oh, shut up, Cody. We'll just leave it at that. Who cares? Like, I'm so not into his gameplay. And it's kind of like, this is what's bothering me also about this Green Alliance. They're kind of acting as though they've had such a hard time in this house, and it's been so difficult for them. And that, like, you know, they just want it to be easy, and they're worried about the game getting all shaken up and messy. And I'm just like, you guys have had it easy for the last, like, 6 weeks. Like, oh, wow, you're going to have to, like, maybe fight for your life in this game. Like, oh, poor things. Like, you may have to win a competition to actually stay in this game, you know? Like,
do you think Tyler's in danger this week because he can't win?
Pretty close to being in danger. Like, him and Chris Smith are probably on the outs right now, I would say. And Tyler with being the one that would go, two of them were left on the block.
Yeah. And
that's
just with, like,
Cody was talking to Cody was talking to Enzo, saying that he doesn't really know where Tyler's head's at. So.
And with him as outgoing HOH, I just mean, like, you know, it's vulnerable potentially.
Yes, I wonder if they're doing the competition now, or if they're going to do it like tomorrow or something. I don't know. Laundry says it was amazing how Danny and Tyler were both upset David took the money. Exactly, they took 5K a piece secretly. Exactly. I think Danny has told people at this point. Tyler has kept it secret, if I'm not mistaken. David did it in front of everybody. Absolutely. And David is very green in his play strategy, and I don't think that he thought about how that could look on him. But I think that he definitely did the right decision for himself, because I don't think he felt that he could have won. But we would have over-strategized. Probably we would have either hit it and like go and try to get up there and get out Cody, or like Brazil is saying, like maybe do a little bartering and be like, hey, I'll give you $10,000 if you let me like win. That could be a good strategy too. But it's just a bit there. Everybody in that house is a hypocrite, in my opinion. He just said she felt bad for Kevin when he was talking about being left out because he didn't fit in, because I didn't know he was half Japanese, half black. Yeah, well, we kind of talked about this a little bit. And yeah, I do feel bad, but I always was just assuming that I just didn't know what his background was, because he never clarified with them that they were excluding him from a group that he was a part of. And so with him not saying that, I think I even asked my mom, I'm like, Mom, isn't Kevin half black? And she's like, I think so. And I'm like, oh, why aren't anybody, including him in groups? And that's when she said, well, maybe he's part, like half like Hispanic or Spanish of some sort and mixed with something else. And so we started thinking that he was something other. So
Kevin drove me crazy this season. He's another one.
Yeah, the only part of Kevin that I liked this season was Anita Vito. And I wish she came out again. That would have been nice. So the head of household was questions about Dr. Real. Did you guys do the questions with them live? Like, how'd you guys do, or how would you have guys done?
Failed.
I don't I don't pay attention to stuff. I knew how many times he winked, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I got right.
Well, you made them very obvious as well. I mean, I used to have such a crush on Dr. Will. I don't like mature Dr. Will. I think I like goofy, like 20-something Dr. Will a bit better.
You don't like Dr. Nip Tuck.
He
He has
doesn't.
all the work done.
Well, he just gets like weird filler stuff. I don't know. He just doesn't. I don't know. He was so much cuter before.
Listen, he uses a lot of SPF, I assume. Great, as you should.
He's
very porcelain. And it's just something he looks weird to me, and it's the filler and the Botox and the whatever else.
My roommate's first job was at Laser Away, and he's like a co-owner / like the doctor for Laser Away. And she a few weeks ago I was talking to her about Dr. Will, and I was like, yeah, like Laser Away, and I forgot she used to work there. She was like, oh my god, wait, like Will Kirby? And I was like, yeah. She's like, you mean Dr. Kirby? I was like, no, Dr. Will, like from Big Brother. And she's like, the fucking vampire? And I was like, yeah, that one. She said he looks like a vampire, but she's met him, and she said like everyone's scared of him, but she said he's not a bad boss, but everyone is like very intimidated by him.
I could see him being intimidating because he has a presence for sure, and has a know-it-all attitude.
Yeah, but it's this cockiness that like doesn't go. There's a difference between him and like some other players, because his cockiness never rubbed me the wrong way. It was like a playful. It was like just the right amount. It was definitely part of a game, and you could tell that. It wasn't just like, this is the ego I have, all around, and it's just I'm so full of myself. It was more of like, watch me do well, and I'm gonna do well, and let's celebrate that. I don't know. It was, although I'm not the biggest fan of Dr. Will. I know many people who are, but it's I still respect it. No. But I don't hate him either. It's just I'm just saying I was never the biggest fan of Chilltown, or kind of like how Janelle kind of played along with him. I didn't enjoy, but I think he deserved to win, and I think he's great at the game, and I do think his level of people are intimidated by people who have a lot of confidence, and I think he's probably very confident in kind of what he does and who he is as a person. So
he's the definition of the social mastermind, because he refused to win any comps because he thought that was the worst game move you could do, is win competitions, but he still managed to get to the end, even if he was on the block or not. So,
and that's why for me, I'm probably the biggest fan of his game, is that I feel as though you shouldn't need to win competitions to win the game. I think that if you position yourself well, that no matter who wins any competition, you can get to the end and you still will have steered the ship and steered all the pieces around and be able to get to the end and win. I think that personally, that is a more impressive game, especially if you had a lot of, your input in how the game flowed, even though you didn't have the direct power.
I think that's always a question of like what you value more. I prefer comp winners. I think like the season with Evil Dick and Danny, it was, they kind of backed each other up when someone needed to win a HOH or someone needed to win a POV. They pulled it out. I really like that.
They also had America on their side with how we were voting.
True, but they also won a lot as well, and I think that I can appreciate that. I mean, I can appreciate a great social game too. It's not one over the other, but I don't mind someone kind of just winning out at the same time. Like if that's your strategy and that's what gets you the end and that's what gets you the win, then so be it. If
you're a fan of Jackson, then.
But I'm saying, if you play a game where it's no winning and just all social, that's just a different way of getting it. It's a different path to the same kind of situation. So you can play it different ways, but I respect both of them.
Being winners, you think that Dr. Will or Jackson were better game winners?
Well, obviously Dr. Will, because when you play a better social game, you're going to be more well liked. You rely on that. You're not going to be hated and play better social games. So Dr. Will played the social game. He is way more liked by many people because of it. Whereas Jackson's an idiot, and I mean his social game sucks. But I just don't like him as a person. So
Laundry says, Danny said Tyler and Christmas had a final 2. How do you think that will affect Memphis and Cody and their train of thought regarding those women? I think that Tyler and Christmas are probably going to be the next 2 up on the block with Tyler going home.
Unless Christmas wins.
And yeah, well, I mean, if anybody other than them winning, I think that those are the 2 people going up with Tyler going home.
I agree. I
can't really see any other scenario. And you know that Nicole is going to be crying, like, I didn't know I got to put you up. Unless Nicole does actually Memphis and Tyler. Actually,
she's not going to win, though.
That's probably true, too. Laundry also says, Danny and Christmas. Oh, just kidding. What do you think Cody, Memphis, and Enzo are thinking? So Cody, I think, didn't they all hear this, though? It was from the wall yeller, right? Saying that they had a final 2. So I think everybody knows that information. I think Cody is still worried about Tyler, so he might put up Tyler. I don't think he's going to put up Memphis. He's in a few alliances with him still. Cody won't put up Nicole, so I think he'll still pull up Tyler and Christmas, even though Tyler's with him in the triple threat. Who do you guys think Cody's going to put up? If he
well, he wants Christmas gone, right? So
he'll put up Christmas in Memphis because Memphis didn't tell him about his second wise men or whatever.
Maybe.
Do I care? No.
Memphis will probably put up. He won't put up Christmas. He'll put up maybe Tyler and Nicole, and then Enzo. Ooh, what would Enzo do? Probably Tyler and Nicole as well.
Enzo, I think, would put definitely Nicole. I think he'd put Memphis. I don't think he would put Tyler.
Okay, I'm going to predict. I don't know who the winner is, but I'm going to predict the 2 remaining women are going to be on the block against each other. That's how the season's been going, right?
I mean, I'm happy that this is happening because I wanted to to make a point that I think Danny is the one that caused this whole thing, this ripple effect of going against Janelle from the very beginning. And just from her not wanting to keep Keisha in the game, and not wanting to side with Janelle, so that means that in turn Nicole Anthony went out the door, and then Janelle went out the door, and then Dave, you know what I mean? It just made all the women that would have been working with Danny and never really would have put her up, at least until final 6 or whatnot, left her so vulnerable, and it made it easy for the guys just to pick off the girls. It's like, well, you must just get the girls off and let's just make it a guy show. So I blame Danny for her choosing the guys over the girls from the beginning of this game.
Right. I have a question.
Okay.
Are we surprised that there's no battle back? I thought that's a perfect opportunity to potentially redeem itself after producers obviously know what the perception is. So the fact that Julie confirmed tonight that there is no battle back whatsoever, is that surprising? I was a little surprised.
I was surprised that there wasn't one pre-jury, because when everybody started going home and Keisha was finally let back into the wild, I was like, okay, there's not going to be a battle back pre-jury. And then I wish that they had just announced that from, I don't think that the speculation about the buyback was helpful for ratings and strategy. It just made sure that both Janelle and Kaser went out the door, so only one of them could possibly come back. And so I wish that they just told them from the beginning there's no battle back this year or whatnot, so people wouldn't be strategizing around it, because I think that also ruined, possibly keeping Janelle or Kaser in the beginning of the game. I was surprised though.
Insane All-Star season, and the fact that it's so boring. I don't know what twist they could put in that would make it more exciting, but a battle back would have been one of them.
Laundry says Cody will put up Christmas and Nicole because it's safe. Memphis would put up Tyler and Cody. Really? And Enzo would put up Tyler and Memphis?
Cody's not going to put up Nicole.
I don't think Cody is ever going to put up Nicole. I think she is his final 2 for sure.
Memphis would put up Tyler, but not Cody.
I don't think Memphis would put up Cody. I don't think Enzo would put up
Tyler.
You think Tyler?
I don't think he'd put up Tyler. I think he'd put up Memphis. Him or Cody would, because of the wise guys thing. Like,
but they're in the wise guys with them, so they were.
I know, but they can use it as an excuse. Like, dude, you're scheming. Like, we know about both the groups.
No way.
The good thing about this week is I think Christmas is in for a really big shock, because I think, most situations she goes up on the block.
True. But yeah, with the wise guys thing though, like they were only using that knowledge to get Christmas to go out the door. And so I don't think that they would, like, Memphis wants to go to the final two with Enzo and final three twice with him. And so I just don't see why they would want to take out somebody that would be willing to have them all stay till the end, when just because they know that information. Like, they wanted to use that, I thought, was to cut off Christmas. And so that Christmas wouldn't be part of the final four. They would just have the wise guy, the one version of the wise guys. And then they would also have like the triple threat with with Tyler in there. And so that, I think, is more so their ideal final four. And Memphis losing Christmas would allow him to come to them more, and have more control.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would want to like piss Memphis off, because Memphis actually has been winning a lot of stuff, and he hasn't been putting them up on the block.
That's true.
But yeah, Memphis, Tyler, and Cody. I don't think that he might do Tyler, but I don't think he would do Cody. He'd do Tyler and Nicole, I think, Memphis. In my opinion. Anything else happened in this episode? Okay, triple eviction flash. It was by mistake. David did call out Nicole, though. This is his second time on the block. Wait, who won that one? Memphis? Yeah, Memphis won that one. Christmas won that veto. I was just annoyed. I'm like, of course she won that veto. She just gets so excited. I'm never here for it. Like, sometimes I'm like super pumped when people win vetoes. I'm like, yes. And with her, I'm just like, it's just always an eye roll. When Nicole buzzed in, she buzzed in wrong. Obviously, Christmas did not use the veto. And David goes out the door. But yeah, so I thought that it was good that he kind of pointed out, like, Nicole is a winner, like, sitting here, like, don't let her have it to get to the end. I thought his speech was pretty good there.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But I wish that they would have kept him, you know what I mean? But, like, I know he's not part of the final plan, but.
He would have been easy to keep around, though. Like, just a body to, like, he was waiting for anyone to be like, hey, if I keep you, will you stay loyal to me? And he probably would have done it. Like, they could have been a vote, especially coming down, like, to this many people left now. David could have been a swing vote for anyone. So it
came really close. I thought that maybe it would have, gone a different way. That maybe Nicole would have gone out. That would have been very interesting.
I literally unplugged my phone. I had it ready in here to like yell like to you, like voice text. And then I heard Enzo, and I was like, "What is he doing? Why didn't he vote out Nicole? Mr. wants to make a big move." And then I just like put my phone down. I was like, "Oh my god."
I was really disappointed because I really thought that maybe Nicole was going to go there. So that was like the first kind of like, ooh, something exciting might be happening. Let down. David evicted. Second eviction of the night. Then it was already spoiled officially by the flash of the triple eviction sign when David was leaving. He has an exit interview with Julie. And basically kind of like Laundry, I think, was saying that it was like, I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy that I got further than I did the last time. I kind of, feel some redemption of the fact that like I won a competition for the one competition that sent me home. So yeah, that was cool. I just I want people, especially in Allstars, to be playing to win, not playing just to do better than they did the last time,
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit disappointed.
I mean, to be fair, David's not there because he's an all-star, so.
It's true. I just wish that he was a better player, or did better homework, or studied the game strategy. Yeah. If I had that second chance, and if I knew, I don't know if he knew. No, he would have known it was All-Stars because they were able to pregame. So they probably knew it was like at least a returning season of some sort. I would have been watching every season I could. Like, there were 2 weeks. Like, he could have gone through at least 5 seasons
minimum.
Yeah. You know who could have really saved this season is Josh. Have you guys talked about that yet?
Yes.
I can't stand Josh.
I know, me either, but he could have saved the season, I think.
I think he would have partnered with Chantele, and I think they would have fucking at least given the other house, the other side of the house a run for their money.
Yeah. Because, like, oh, if Josh and Casey were both there, who wouldn't be there? Like, Memphis and Christmas wouldn't have been there? Or Memphis and Keisha might not have been there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would swap those out in a second, like, knowing the way this season went.
And it would have been like Tyler, Josh, Casey, Kaser, Janelle.
Then she would still have Bailey and Devon. So they would have actually had, like, the power 8 against, like, the other 6 or 8.
That is a season I want to watch.
I know, it's the season we almost got. It's been so funny, like, talking to Rob as a podcast. At the beginning, it was all hypothetically speaking because we didn't know who the actual cast it has been. And the whole time we've been talking is like, we've been knowing what's been going on, but we're like, well, hypothetically, if this happens, like, what do you think they should do if, like, so-and-so wins this veto or whatever? Like, the whole time we've been talking about it is about hypotheticals of a season that we would really prefer to watch, which has been really frustrating too. It's like, the season that we got sucks. It's like, well, let's think about, like, what it would be like if it was a good season.
Let's go into imagination land.
Right? Okay, so yeah, I was upset that David ended up going, but whatever. So go back to the living room, and Judy, why am I calling her Judy? But Julie brings up that, yes, you're right, you saw the sign. It was a triple eviction. The 3 moves ahead, and they were kind of joking around with Julie, being like, no, that was at the end, but whatever. They had another competition for their next head of household. How'd you guys do on this one? I thought it was actually pretty hard.
Yeah, I did well up until the question about Devon, like whether or not she was a have-not twice before she won her veto. That one, I was like, dude, that was such a close. Those 2 situations were so close. Like I couldn't figure it out. But other than that, I did okay.
Yeah, I did okay. But that one too, I thought it was just like 1-1, but maybe she was like 2 on one side and 1.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. But I was actually rooting for Tyler to win this one, and so I was really happy that he did. Who were you rooting for?
I was rooting against him in Christmas because I wanted Danny to stay. So I was rooting for Danny or Nicole because I know Nicole would protect Danny.
Well, I guess I was rooting this way too because of my stocks. So I didn't want to lose all my Christmas stocks. So I'm selling them this week though, for sure.
Enter jingle here.
3 moves ahead, blah, blah, blah. Wow, Tyler. I knew that Tyler was going to be putting up Danny and Nicole. Did you have any thoughts of anything else? No, me neither.
No.
No. Yep. Nicole's crying, obviously. Whatever. What else happened? Nicole says she feels like she's in a nightmare, which it is kind of a nightmare. Like, it would be very stressful to be going through that, like, live. It's a lot of gameplay in a very short amount of time, but it kind of made me think, like, ooh, I wish the whole season was like this. You know?
Yeah. Well, because you're just like, you've been sitting there watching. If you think back who's been eliminated, like the last, week after week after week after week after week, it's like expected. It's what you thought. You didn't want it to happen every single time. And it's just like, why did I even waste the past like 6, 7, 8, whatever weeks, how many weeks it's been? Because I'm like, they could have done this in one night. Like, it could have been a sequester kind of a situation.
Laundry says, buy stock in Nicole. She's final 2 stock tips here. Well, I'm hoping that Christmas wins the head of household, so her stock will rise, and then I can sell it, and then I'm just going to go all in on probably Memphis because he's the lowest of the higher tiered stockholders or stock people stocks. I was considering it though because her stock is pretty low, but I think that because Tyler and Christmas are both gunning for her, that she's kind of in a risky position. So, and they're both good at winning comps. Actually, everybody left other than Nicole is good at winning comps. So I could see Nicole going out next, which would be, in my opinion, satisfying.
I think final 3 right now are Enzo, Tyler, Cody. That would be my guess.
So Feet of the Fire was the competition for the power veto, and it's kind of running back and forth. I thought it was a pretty harsh that if they fall, they don't just get to start over again. They're out. Like, that's brutal. That's the one where she made their like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, because they're live, like I feel like they couldn't have them constantly like going back up and trying it again.
But they wouldn't have won.
Time
though,
consuming.
so. They probably wouldn't have won though if they were that far behind. But I mean, I guess like it would be
time wise, yeah.
I guess. But it didn't affect, like, her falling and not being able to continue did not affect the winning of the game taking longer.
No.
I do not think. So Tyler wins it. Christmas apologized for him because she fell in the competition as well. It's like, okay, Christmas, we all know that you're a comp beast and, you're embarrassed by your performance here. We get it. Danny was pissed, though. Like, I felt bad a bit because Danny must have knew that her number was up. And
yeah, she was in warrior mode. You can tell. Look on her face. I was rooting for you, Danny.
I was too. I did not want Nicole to go over her.
Me neither. I wanted Nicole out, of course. I wanted the just desserts still for Danny, just because I felt that she, on a whole, played a poor game. I think that she could have done a lot better if she had just done what I wanted her to do. She would have been masterful and like done a really good job. So she didn't pick to work with who I thought would have been a really good team. I wanted in the beginning, I wanted her to be her, Davon, and Janelle being like
oh my god,
trio.
Can you imagine? Oh
That's
yeah.
what I wanted.
Can we should have been able to force them in alliances. Like you have to be in this alliance.
Like give them teams, made by kids.
Or like
Absolutely.
departments.
That could have worked though, actually. Like the audience will set people like in teams of 3 and it's all been
or like America's team or something like that. You know what I mean? And just have people who have to work together and can't put each other on the block or can't, at least until a certain time in the game or whatever, like halfway through.
Hi, Daryl. How are you? So you say that Nicole put on her Big Brother eviction proof vest tonight. Absolutely hilarious. I mean, she's not going anywhere because she's just been quite useless in competitions. Daryl also says that Danny showed up to the gunfight with a butter knife. Well, she knows she needed to win some competitions at this point to protect herself. She didn't set herself up as well as she thought she had. I think that she felt as though Cody would have protected her in pretty much all circumstances, but the rest of the alliance had already kind of turned on her and turned him on her, and he has a stronger bond with Nicole. So,
and when you align yourself with people who are great at competitions, what are you thinking though? Like, I would never align myself with Cody, Tyler, Christmas, like as a 6 or whatever. I mean, these are all people who are good at stuff. They can do things and they can beat you. And when you're the person who, even when you need to turn on each other at the end, and you're the person who's probably the weakest comp-wise, what are you going to do? I just thought that was a major flaw throughout the whole, in the beginning of it. It's like, no, you want people in that with you who are equally as bad or that you can beat, or you know what I mean? So it's just a weird, let's put all the strong people together and let me align with them. This is weird.
Well, I think that she just thought that she was in a better position though. And so I think that it was dumb. It was dumb in my opinion.
Many reasons, yeah.
So Nicole was crying to Danny. Danny was saying Christmas needs to be your number one focus. Get Christmas out before you get out Tyler. I think that she kind of threw Nicole under the bus a little bit when she kind of said to her basically to do the same thing. So Nicole was blubbering and she couldn't. I can't see anything. I don't know what to say. And Danny was like, I know what to say. And she kind of out Tyler at Christmas and points out that they're in a final 2, and then points out, what was the other thing she pointed out? She says to Nicole though, if you stay, you know what to do. And I was thinking that's basically setting Nicole up to be out next, because it's basically for saying that Nicole's next targets are Tyler and Christmas. And so I don't know if that was maybe her kind of Hail Mary to maybe they'll keep her and vote out Nicole.
No, but I think she knew she was going. I think the person who has the aggressive speech is always who's gonna go. I think people are offended by it. You can't just go guns a-blazing and stay. And so I think she knew that. I think that last line was a mistake, and that it was kind of like, in retrospect, kind of outing her a little bit, but she shouldn't have. But she did pick the wrong alliance.
Says she picked the wrong alliance. We agree. She definitely picked the wrong alliance. Daryl also said that she was wasting time talking to Nicole. Go talk to Tyler, rat out Cody and Nicole, and spill the tea. Well, she was being super loyal to both Cody and Nicole was already, I don't know if you didn't show this in the episode, I don't believe, Jonathan, but Nicole was already kind of ratting out Danny and like being like, I'm not so tight with Danny anymore. And she was getting
I can imagine.
Pardon me?
I said I can imagine, because she's kind of like, it's showed little bits of that. So yeah, it's kind of obvious that she was willing to, and she's kind of done that. She did that with Ian. She'll do that with anybody.
And so, yeah, basically Nicole was off the Danny train anyways, but Danny was still like, you're the best person. Like, I'm so happy I got to play this game with you, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, she don't care about you no more.
Womp, womp.
Wompity womp womp womp. So yeah, basically she was out to a 4-0 vote. Talks to Julie. We already talked a little bit about her storming out and like, this is gonna be personal, like Christmas being all like upset. She leaves, she doesn't even put on her mask, and then she's like apologizing to Julie, and it was pretty like funny and awkward. But I thought that Danny was very likable in her interview with Julie. I was like, oh, wait, there's the Danny I like, because she was actually she's like, man, I made a mistake. Like, she was realizing the error of her ways and like, oh my God, I played too hard here. Like, I get that. Okay, I could see how I could have come across this way. Like, she's already was able to evaluate what she did wrong in her game and take ownership of it. And she was likable in that moment. She wasn't still going hard for like, I made the right decisions, but they made a stupid move. Like, she didn't say stuff like that. So I actually really liked Danny when she was talking to Julie. What did you think, Brazil?
I thought so too. I mean, she knew she was playing hard, and at times I wondered if she knew that. Like I said before, she talked far too much, and I think if she would have been more selective with who she was planting seeds with, it would have been more beneficial to her game, and I think it would have taken her farther. But the fact that she was able to realize it and own it and just, take it in stride, I mean, it's always respectable. But I didn't want to hate Danny. It's just her whole thing with Chanel. Janelle made me think that. Like, I was like, you're so dumb. What are you doing?
Daryl also says the only house guest to go guns blazing and stay was on season 18 with Michelle Mayer. Nicole was a snake. I don't even remember that. I wasn't the biggest fan of Big Niche.
Big Niche.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember this though, but Nicole was a snake. and Nicole was, and then she came back anyways after Battle Back. Wasn't that season?
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually remember that though. I probably blocked it out. What else do you want to say about this episode? I mean, there was a few exciting moments. I'll say I was happy to have a little bit of like, okay, what's going to happen? Like, I knew what was going to happen, but like just to see, okay, this is the outcome. Okay, I guess this is what's going to happen. Like, I like seeing the faster gameplay, just especially because we knew what was going to be happening. Hi, J Jobs, how are you? Did any of you see Janelle's tweets tonight? She dragged Nicole F and Danny. No. I was watching it on this specific stream, so it was a little bit behind. So I wasn't looking at my tweets because I wanted to just like watch the show. If I'm going to watch it, I might as well not be spoiled like 30 seconds beforehand. And so, no, but tell us, J Jobs, spill the tea. Show us the tweets. Daryl says it was a double eviction. Yeah, I don't really remember that. Yeah, I mean, that's another, like all the seasons after season, like 14, I don't really remember that well, which is really interesting because like the older season, I have a lot better memories of, A lot
more happened.
Maybe that's it. Hello. So yeah, we kind of got to the end of this like jam-packed episode. If you guys in the chat have anything else to add or any other questions or anything else want all of us to rant about, please let us know. Also, I don't know if you guys have already, but we have a survey going. Do I have that somewhere? Where is that? Do you have it nearby, Brazil?
You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, sure. Put in the
Okay.
file. So yeah, we have a survey going that we're just asking anybody that's hanging out with us that what should we cover next? Love Island, what we've been covering daily, and now we're going to be having a little bit of withdrawal with Love Island. So we want to know what shows you are interested in seeing next. Also, just as a plug, on Saturday, I'm going to be speaking with Mari Forth, Lita Brillman, and Liana Boris from Rob as a Podcast for at Supermajority. So if you go to at Supermajority, you can register for our talk, and we're going to be talking about women and female representation in reality television. It's going to be at 5 p.m. That's for your absentee ballot box. Because after we're going to be doing a text banking session encouraging women to vote and absentee votes during these times. So please go to at Supermajority so you can sign up for this text banking event and our little roundtable. Daryl says, don't worry, it wasn't that memorable. Exactly. I mean, I blocked out Big Me. She was too much of a whiner for me. What is your schedule for the shows next week? I don't know what I'm going to do. These next few days, we're going to probably just do a lot of exit, like after the island kind of press as to anything we find out about the couples and stuff like that. So we'll still go live every day at about 2 p.m. talking about Love Island until Sunday. We probably have enough content until then. I'll probably do with Phil. He wants to do Amazing Race with me, so he'll be my co-host on that. Doing the Amazing Race. So we'll probably do a cast assessment next week. I'm not sure of time slot yet, but it should be in the afternoon, depending if you can, or maybe it's going to be in the evening. I don't know if we'll go live after the episode. I'll see what Phil thinks and what his schedule is going to be like. What do you think, Jonathan?
What?
You look like you're about to say something like.
No, I know. What's your schedule like next week? I don't know.
I thought you were going to say something about.
I watch all the shows, like non-competition. So you can just give me a call and we can talk about like The Masked Singer or Dancing with the Stars. Or
it just started. We are going back and doing a little bit of 90 Day Fiancé. Do you watch that?
I haven't, but I've watched so many clips online and I'm like, I just don't know when the show's on and I haven't looked it up, but I think I would love it. So
we'll talk to you offline about like what's going on with 90 Day Fiancé. So we're thinking about doing some rewatching about that. I just never went down that rabbit hole. So there's just so much content to get caught up on. So that's kind of why it's been a little bit daunting, but we might make that effort.
I put it in the private chat for you.
I see. So this is the survey. If you guys want to fill out what you guys like, that would be so awesome. Laundry said, I was bored with the episode. Me too. It was extremely disappointing. I thought that the purpose of the triple eviction was to force the alliance to eat each other. Thank you so much for doing this. You know what? Honestly, I don't mind doing it. I love talking Big Brother with you guys and obviously with Jonathan Brazil. That is definitely a pleasure. There wasn't really that much gameplay. So that was a little bit disappointing, but hopefully moving forward, there will be a little more gameplay. I think going live maybe after the eviction episodes might be the only interesting episode to really talk about. So maybe I'll continue doing that for the next few weeks for Big Brother. Maybe I can maybe get behind that. You guys in it with me?
For you? Anything.
For me?
I'm not allowed to say no.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say no because Chantele told me. Oh, speaking of which, Brazil, you gotta make yourself a little clip it. I need to put you in the trailer.
I gotta do that. I gotta make my video for Sequester. I gotta do a lot of
Get on it.
A lot of action I'm not into, but I'll do it.
So people in the chat, do you have anything else to talk about for Big Brother or any, I sent the survey about potential shows to cover, but if you want to even just mention shows in the comments, we will talk about the possibility of covering those. We're definitely going to be doing also The Bachelorette. Brazil, you said you wanted to do that with me? Good. And Jonathan, do you watch The Bachelorette or no? No. Okay, Jonathan is out.
Jonathan, you should watch it for your first season. Why? Why?
It should be a good season, but if you haven't watched it, though, I think having the history would be.
He's like, no.
But can I tell you that I just started watching Ghosted on MTV, and the host of it, Rachel, is a former Bachelorette.
Wait, sorry, who's the Bachelorette?
I've been watching Ghosted on MTV, and what's her name? Rachel.
Oh yeah. I've seen her do.
Oh, Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel
Love
Lindsay.
Her. Love her.
So watch this season.
No.
Okay, so this is what Janelle said. Danny has no one to blame but herself. She targeted all the people that would have had her back. Me, Ian, Faye, Kevin, Devon, and Kaser. She chose to work with Nicole and Cody. Girl, bye.
Bye.
Right. And I mean, I was right, and I agree with Janelle.
She's not wrong.
That is it. That's the tweet. That's the tweet for me.
Wrong.
I love Janelle for the fact that she's just so like on the money, and that's true though. Like those people would have had her back. They wouldn't be lying to her. Like they're very open and upfront with their gaming and how they play. And you know, she chose to be with people that were secretive and like chit chat behind people's back, and they didn't want to have. It's supposed to be such a nice and calm game, but these people just want to play out in the open and let's just like have a battle, and it's like who wins. You put this up, and like it would be more of a back and forth like kind of game as opposed to like a sneaky like numbers game. Yeah, bored already, but hopefully it'll get a little bit better now that there's nobody to just pick off.
I mean, we keep saying that every week though. Like it always leaves you like wanting next week. Well, maybe next week. Maybe
I've given up on that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, depending on who wins a head of household, like right now, I'm hoping that Tyler Christmas win.
How many times have we said that though? Well, maybe
cannibalize themselves. You know, that's exciting. But then it's probably going to be Cody that wins again, and Christmas and you know Tyler are going to go up. You know,
best season ever.
Allstars 2 was amazing. Yeah, right. Hey, chat people, anything else left to say? We actually managed to squeeze an hour and a half out of this. Holy jeepers. Laundry, we did this for you. I hope that you at least enjoyed chatting with us about this not so exciting, the expected episode, Triple Eviction. Like they knew it was coming, and then they got spoiled in the episode. Like such a letdown. But there was a few exciting moments in there for sure. Like I was entertained a couple times. Well, if nobody has anything else to say.
No.
Brazil, you want to plug your sequester game?
Sure. My friend and I, Nicole, are playing in a sequester mini on October 7th. Nala is excited about it. Nala at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's going to be NorCal versus SoCal, and we're both on Team NorCal, so come watch us try and not lose.
Absolutely. And so you can find that game on sequesteraccess.com, or if you want to like learn how to play or to watch Sequester, go to sequesteraccess.com or go to YouTube under Sequester Access, and you can find like a how to watch Sequester link. And then with that, though, I'm probably going to do one of these kind of StreamYard things through YouTube, where we will watch on our own computers or whatever resource their games, and then we'll talk in between each little segment about how we think they're doing. Are you going to join us for that, Jonathan?
Yes, I will.
Laundry, thank you. Laundry says, I did enjoy this for life. Laundry, we're a fan of you too. So anything you ask for, we will do our best to provide you with that content because we can, and we care about you and getting you the entertainment that you need. So.
And your name is a constant reminder of chores that I need to do around the house. So thank you.
I haven't been watching it so long. I'm thinking it's a play on Christmas name, but you know. I don't know your real name, Laundry. I don't know if I want to. What is the Christmas? We're loyal Bay. What else do I have to say? Well, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe right down over there. You'll see a little Reality Realness with 3 S's that you can press that little button and subscribe right while you're watching us. Ooh, technology is amazing. We are on our goal, or on our way to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So we're getting closer. I still think we can do it. We have this under 3 weeks. And, we do like 35 or so subs every day. We can hit our target really easily. So if you like talking about Big Brother, or, maybe we'll talk about The Masked Singer, me and Jonathan, maybe. I mean,
my favorite.
Weekend, right?
What's that?
It's only 1 weekend, right?
Yeah, there was, because the preview before that. So no, this is week 2. So week 2 just happened.
Yeah. I mean, we could just catch up on like Sunday and then just.
It's an easy watch. It's an easy.
Oh no, I've seen season 1. I think I have to do a rewatch of season 2 because I just want to know who was there, and then I don't mind doing Masked Singer. I didn't know that anybody cared, so I just decided no. I'm also care. Slightly interested in the I Have No Voice, or what's that one?
Oh, the Ken Jeong. Yeah, I watched that too. There's been 2 episodes of that as well. I mean, I love stuff like that. So I don't know if it's good in a sense of like, if people will watch it. I'm not sure, but I'm watching like The Weakest Link with Jane Lynch. So I'll watch everything.
Okay. So we'll talk offline. If you don't have anything else to see in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. I know there's a lot of people doing coverage live right after the episode. So the fact that you chose to hang out with us means a lot. We definitely really, really appreciate it. Reality Realnesss with 3 S. Yay! 3 S's. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Reality Realnesss with 3 S's, or me at Chantele Francis. Find Brazil at Baby Zill, Jonathan at Jonathan Oliveira, 1983. Just follow us, subscribe, get your friends to subscribe. But I've talked enough for today. So, deuces. Last words?
Yeah.
I love you guys. Bye.